Izuku is all cute, blushes and soft curl and sunshine smiles. He greets his client with a cheaper hello, stutters, and stammers when you compliment him every time, like he doesn't receive multiple ones over the course of his shift. He's a passing summer breeze, caressing your skin and warming your chest, nostalgia held in the flower field of his freckle, a piece of home cradled in his wispy lashes. He's always so curious. He has notebooks dedicated to each of his clients, pages worn and crinkled from use because he's always writing in them, always keeping them up to date. He asks questions because he genuinely wants to know the answer, wants to find out how you getting yourself inside and go even further than that, into the places even you didn't know you had. His clients end up finding a little something new about themselves after their session, leaving feeling refreshed and cared for and wanted, because he always looks breathless and wide-eyed, stars held in the galaxy of his irises when you talks about your day. Izuku looks at you like you're a phenomenon, the universe carried into the groove of your fingertips. He's so clumsy. His all thick skin and raised pale scars, trembling fingers as he poured the drinks. He was in a car accident that damaged both hands and the majority of his right arms, a mottled purple scar near his biceps from where battery acid had landed on it. His motor function on that side are particularly bad, but God does he try. He's always trying. There's something highly admirable about the way he pushes through despite the difficulty. How he's always giving his 100%, sometimes even beyond that. The club motto of Plus Ultra spilling from his lips. His optimism is a contagious thing, filling your lungs like a memento. Izuku is surprisingly strong. Most club members have a gimmick, an extra service special to them, and his is strength. Clients will ask him to lift them up, toss them over his shoulder, let them sit on his back, and he does push-ups. And he indulges each one of them with shiny eyes in bashful grin, his cheeks pink as they wrap their arms around his shoulder. You think you can live in that creases between his brows get when he's concentrating. The valley of his rippling muscles nestled in the delicate curves of his jaw as he clenches his teeth. There's always something a bit primal about him in those moments, something you want to dig your finger in and drag out in his entirety. See what he's really like when you peel back all that kindness and self-control. And fuck, wouldn't that be such a pretty sight? Izuku is an absolute chatterbox, getting going about superhero comics or something else he's passionate about, and he's talking a miles a minute. He's so animated too, waving his arm around, expression lighting up his face like a candle flame, warm and beautiful and so precious, sheltered in the bold shape of his smile, the crinkled skin at the corner of his eyes. You could listen to him for hours, if you could, lost in the earnestness of his eyes, counting the constellation of his dispersed freckles. You wonder if you could ever make him look like that when he talks about you. Izuku is the #1 host, and his roster is always packed. You have to schedule days in advance, sometimes weeks, just to have the chance to sit with him. But it's entirely worth it, just to see the way his eyes sparkle when he sees you. The way he says your name like it's something cherished, something tender, held within the groove of his palate like a gift. It makes you want to bottle up the sun, keep it close, save it for the lonely days that pass. The thing is, you always hated us clubs. You always thought they were silly and superficial things, something for desperate and unwanted people. It didn't just sit right with you. The idea of paying someone to pretend to like you? It felt like a Venus flytrap, a vicious and prying thing, snapping at any starving flies that happened to pass by. You would have never stepped foot in such place. You wouldn't have, if you hadn't met him. If you hadn't met him in a dirty alleyway, your white blouse stained with coffee, your phone crackled from when you had opened it, your mascara ruining because you were crying your eyes out, because fuck, nothing was going right that day. The way he had came up to you and held out his jacket, a tentative but gentle look on his face, The sand hallowed around his curls like a gilded crown. I saw you running into here. And God, he's awkward, shuffling his feet, a light flush on his cheeks. He looks to the ground for a moment, and you're about to tell him to fuck off, to leave you to hell alone. But then he raises his head and, oh, the look on his face, lip pressed in a thin line, eyebrow creased, determination in the deep, deep pool of his eyes, and you're drowning, sinking, choking on the weight of his resolve. You look like you needed help, he says. And now, how can you not accept it when he says it like that? Host Izuku is your favorite, and nothing in this world can change that.